Right.
You can't get down Baker Street, still got a park.
Right. Yeah, can we just let the officer finish his report, please?
In addition, no completed 106 agreement to secure contributions under the planning obligation strategy or for the provision of affordable housing has been received. The applicant has been in contact with the council in this regard. However, it is indicated that the mortgage company will not sign such an agreement. Accordingly, the reason for refusal on the basis of a lack of a completed 106 agreement remains. The application is therefore recommended for refusal.
You had that money Monday. You could have had that money Monday.
Yeah.
And you refused.
Okay, just calm down. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for that. Well, it's not my mate, it's old fella. I've just asked you to calm down, please. Okay? Just calm down. Thank you. Right. Have you got any questions you'd like to ask the officer now?
Just one question, Chair. At the last hearing, I did suggest that maybe a more modest development could possibly take place, meaning less properties built on there, to obviously enhance that area and prevent the problems that have occurred in the past. I just wonder whether there's been any attempt from the applicant's point of view to reduce the number of properties that are identified in the application.
We haven't had any correspondence in that regard.
Thank you.
They asked to know that.
Any other questions? Sorry, Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Chair. Jonathan, but I understand this reading your report, and I've read this a couple of times. The arguments put over by the owners are not going to stack up with the definitions, i.e. that the Minister would look upon, or by the Council, or indeed the Planning Department looks upon. Perhaps this should be looked on, or perhaps the landowners should be taking this down a different route. If they're so concerned about they want to build on greenbelt land, then perhaps they should take the course of the method of taking that piece of land out of the greenbelt. Could that be a possibility?
It's brownfield land, it's not greenbelt. It's in the greenbelt, but it's brownfield.
I appreciate it's quite an emotive issue for you, but please let the councillors answer questions to the officer. Jonathan?
Thank you, Chair. Paragraph 2.32 relates to land supply, and it does say if sites to be taken out of the greenbelt for residential use, this should be via the local plan process. So the local plan process allows a holistic planning of the borough as a whole, rather than piecemeal sites coming forward. So if the applicant was looking at redeveloping the site for residential purposes, that could be one avenue they could explore.
Thank you, Chair.
Councillor.
Question for Jonathan. In terms of the table you've put down in previous use, thatched cottage application site, no lawful use other than agriculture. I don't think that's quite correct as far as I know. There's previous uses, it's been a council storage area, it's been an area for a boot sale, and it's got a big road stuck in the middle of it. So I can't see how this can be no lawful use other than agriculture in this little box here, because it does make a difference, because when you're reading this table, you're looking at what's there now, currently, as to what may be better than what we've currently got.
Yeah, the site currently has no lawful use. In the past, it may have been used for storage of items as a council depot. There is no current lawful use at the application site, and as a default use, land would be agricultural use.
Thank you.
Please, any other questions? John, you just said to Councillor Palmer that there hasn't been any other attempts to reduce the size of the premises. There's been other applications for this site, all have had the same effect of being refused, haven't they?
Yeah, there were previous applications for refusal. In 2007 there was an application for 8 that was refused. In 2008, an application for 8 was also refused. In 2013, an application for 2 was also refused, all on the principle of the Greenbelt development and other reasons.
You've been there, how can you call that Greenbelt? It's a shit hole. Unbelievable.
Okay, let's just please calm down. Okay.
Jonathan, on the conclusions on here, it says that objections on highway grounds and the unsatisfactory living conditions for the occupants of the dwellings. Can you just go back and tell me what the unsatisfactory conditions are again, please?
Yeah, if we go back to the original report, proximity of the site to the A1013 is a cause for concern in terms of noise and disturbance that would be sort of experienced when in the back gardens of those properties.
24 right next to the A13.
Yeah, come on, let's we understand what you're saying, but just please calm down. Let us hold this meeting a bit orderly.
Why is that? Why is it? Who's in charge? The councillors or this side?
Well, the planning committee, who are elected members, are run this meeting. So, well, look, I'm not going to start getting into a debate with members of the public over this planning application. We need to run this meeting orderly. Now, please just quiet down, please. Sorry, Councillor Johnson.
Sorry, thanks, Jonathan. But there are properties already there, aren't there? There's, I think it was 3 on one side and there's 1 on the other, which are just as close to the main road as these new properties would be.
They're pre-existing properties which predated this planning application. So we wouldn't want to be putting more properties in that situation.
You took a metre of main road to build them 24.
Chair, I'd like to say something. I live in Main Road. Jonathan Coon's been
Look.
many times. I think the committee should come and have a look at Main Road.
Yeah, well,
to see what you've
look.
done. Listen, just to see what you've done to my property.
Okay.
You stole my land to build to 24
Yeah, well,
houses.
that
Get the committee to come down and have a look at that. Jonathan
right.
Coon knows
Well,
all
then
about it.
perhaps
You
you'd
also
be.
knocked my house back to the planning commission next door, and yet the person that had the planning permission for the 24 was told that he could build 2 houses on my plot. But Jonathan Coon...
Yeah, well, let's not start getting. Let's not start getting personal.
Come down our property and have a
Yeah,
look
well,
at
right.
over there, then through.
If you keep on, we'll suspend this meeting. I'll suspend this meeting if I have to interject again.
Right, you stole the land of
So,
my house, and
you
stole
take
the
my
metre of
advice
my
now.
land. The metre of my land you stole, and you passed it. How did you pass houses that were built that had no gardens?
Right.
They never had no gardens, so how did you build them? It's hard to
Because-
run, and yet they had no plan. But you can sell them land. What do? You charge the bloke, the builder,
Right.
as he sells the houses, you're going to take money off it.
Right.
Is that
Well,
not corrupt?
let me tell you something.
Tell me about it.
If you email me with your concerns, then
I want
I'll.
you to come personally, come and have a visit and see
No.
what's going on there.
Well, then perhaps that's what we may have to do later on down the line. But right now, we're dealing with Thatch Cottage. And if you're going to keep on, I'll stop the meeting right now and we'll suspend it.
Well, let's just have, I've asked you for a visit now.
Right, okay, thank you. Sorry, Councillor Johnson.
I think I was finished there. That's all right.
Okay. Any other questions? Councillor Tola.
Thanks, Chair. Can the gentleman...
The core strategy extract above is Greenbelt, so the whole of the area outlined in green is Greenbelt.
Then across the road, you've got a care home and offices being built.
Okay.
10 to 15 yards away.
Please, Councillor Tola.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I think...
They're identified as Greenbelt, but quite honestly, they're an eyesore. And those of us who live in the borough would like to see these cleaned up. And I think this is one site that I think deserves consideration, because I believe, as I said before, I'm not suggesting 14 properties, but some sort of development there could enhance this area and make it more desirable. Because when you drive along the old A13, and sandwiched between the old A13 and the new A13, we've got lots of these, or several of these plots of land that have become quite tips. All sorts of activities have taken place, and it makes this borough look messy. And this is the whole problem with Thurrock. We don't go down the right road, and it's about time that we looked at these whether it's green belt or whether it isn't. And it's very easy to smother it with green belt policies, but when it suits, we can get rid of virgin green belt, farmland, and build houses on them. But when we've got something that's despoiled, there we are arguing over a piece of despoiled land which could enhance this area. And I still stand by exactly where I said at the first time of hearing, that it is possible to go down that road and to look at some development from there which will clear up this site. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to debate? Councillor Little.
Thank you, Chair. I've taken a couple of notes in terms of harm to the green belt, and I'm looking at where we were and when we visited the site and the times that I've driven past that site. I've never seen it anything other than harmful to the green belt, because it's a mess, and it will always be a mess. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to string a row of houses out further than the planning application, because there is nowhere else for the houses to go. The land is trapped, it's landlocked, and as Councillor Parker mentioned, it is an eyesore, and it's an area where I feel the opportunity to give people some housing at very little cost to the green belt, in inverted commas, the stuff that there is, people are worried about. I think that is the key thing that we're here now. There are other areas, there are other places that have been developed very close to this. The bit about noise, I think, is a joke when you've got houses built the other side, just a little along Baker Street, a bit further down the road there, where they're right underneath the A13. I mean, I can't see how we can talk about that. If that's acceptable, then this one certainly is. The houses, the fact that they won't be overlooked because the houses are pretty much on a level with the flyover path that's going down towards Dale's roundabout. So there won't be an overlooking situation. I can't see any reason why we wouldn't want to do what we're doing there now, if we've already done it in Baker Street. I just can't, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I really want to pursue this application, not refuse, but to accept it, because until we start clearing up some of these little messes around our borough, we're going to end up with these long drawn out conversations over years and years, and it's ridiculous. Thank you very much.
Okay, anyone else? Speak. Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I've just listened to Councillor Little and Councillor Palmer. I mean, we've really got to get this definition, and the last number of meetings that I've been on, we keep coming over this, and some people prove it, some people don't. What is the definition of a green belt? Some people say, look, it's a tip, I go by it every day, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, it is green belt in statute. In the story. Don't care what it looks like. It may have been a tip even when it was included in the green belt. I have done some studying into this. I mean, factories got grabbed into the green belt. I don't ask the factory owner whether he wanted his factory in the green belt. So, talking to various officers, finding out various rules and the rest of it, surely the best bet for people who are so committed that they want to build on a piece of land is to take the course and word of the officer of taking out of the green belt. Go down that course.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Councillor Solar, Chair of the Planning Committee. And my feelings for this area are still very much the same. You've got some really disgusting people that live in this borough and visit this borough with some of the fetish activities that carry on. And if I was to actually live where certain people do, down obviously the Thatch Cottage and that, would I want to be looking out my window at some of the fetish activities that I think I'd be blowing a fuse. You wouldn't be putting up with it. You've got people that go around fly tipping. Would you like to wake up in the morning and you've got a skip load of stuff of someone's disused rubbish? Who knows? Perhaps you might. I don't. And again, I wouldn't like. Please do not keep interrupting me. You know, I wouldn't like that sort of thing. And it is very antisocial behaviour, very agitating. And we mustn't forget, this is a former council depot. The road that runs through Baker Street is the old Baker Street road that used to run out onto the old, which was then the A13. So the road infrastructure that's been explained in this report, it doesn't really wash with me. I remember Baker Street as a little country rural lane, no doubt Councillor Palmer does. You know, going through, you know, next to a council depot. The land as Councillor Little described here a couple of months ago, the land's no good to nobody. It's probably one of the worst areas in the borough. You heard it from the other ward councillor, Mr Little. And looking back at the report of 2008, we've seen the former Mayor of Thurrock, Councillor Diane Revel, who I have quite a lot of respect for, although she might not think so nowadays. She actually herself described a very similar set of circumstances. What good is this land for? It's no good to no man and beast. You can't do nothing with it. All it's causing is encouraging antisocial behaviour at more expense to the landowners to have their property secured, and to see some of the unnecessary things that go on in our present day life. So I understand what Councillor Ray says about the green belt, what you say about the green belt, but what would you call Neville's Farm? What would you call Baker Street Autos? Look at it from the A13 into A13. Now, if someone said to me, well, surely these are in more of an expansive part of the open green belt and having more detrimental effects, I'd have to agree with them. This is, as Councillor Little says, it's landlocked, it's surrounded by a high flyover, hedges, banks, and yes, it's an outline planning application, so the detail isn't there. So they're not going to be design details in any plan application. We've seen so many outline plan applications in the past come through here. And if it was the committee's wishes to still continue to go against the officer recommendation, then surely we could actually use our own discretion and our own elected powers to consider putting further conditions. That if ever there was a full application to come in, then we could actually tonight talk about some of the conditions you might want to see, like noise has been mentioned, for example. We've seen those report highways issues that could be entered into conditions there. So it's all points that you can consider. But I certainly, as a close by neighbour, certainly wouldn't like to see grandchildren, children, even my wife, see some of the stuff that's been going on, which has possibly been going on for many, many years by, past reports. That's all I've got to say at the moment. Councillor Johnson.
Sorry to come back in after you, Chair, but I have to agree with a lot of what my colleagues have said. I think officer-wise, our policy is being carried out because they're bringing it here saying it should be refused. But we are the committee. We do have to look at this. And for me personally, that was my first ever visit to that site. And I looked at it, and now coming back here and looking at these three circumstances here, I don't think it's inappropriate to build properties on it. I think it's actually very, very appropriate. Outweigh the potential harm? Well, I like Councillor Palmer here, I can't see any harm. It really is a blight on the green belt as it is. So I think, well, yes, I would still like to continue with continuing to refuse the refusal.
Sorry, can you...
I would like to continue to go against the recommendation of refusal.
Okay, is there anyone else wishing to debate or speak on this application? Councillor Stoller.
Thanks, Chair. Just one last thing. You were talking about this landlocked by existing roads. It's untidy. It's previous highway land, antisocial behaviour and precedent of nearby developments.
And
Would it enhance the area?
perhaps we could also nick one of your very special circumstances for the former Baker Street garage site, which says it's a loss of unsightly and neighbourly uses, improvement to the character and the appearance of the area with no further intensification.
I would just wonder about the final bit on that, Chair,
Okay.
in terms of intensification, bearing in mind there's no development on the site at present.
No, well,
maybe the first
Okay,
evidence of that.
right. And we mustn't forget, of course, we could also use the reason for it will be assisting the current housing shortfall, as we did at the last meeting. Is there anything else you wish to add to that? No? Okay.
And then, Chair, in terms of the next part of the process, obviously bearing in mind where we are with this application, I would suggest this needs to come with 3 caveats. Obviously picking up the fact that members are approving the application. First, subject to the completion of a Section 106 agreement to cover both affordable housing payments affordable housing and payments under the planning obligation strategy, as would be the norm. Subject to conditions, which again, Chair, in terms of the normal process, officers will draft and deliver yourself. And finally, subject to referral to the National Planning Casework Unit, which is required as the application is a departure from the development plan.
And I also am aware that within your original report there was some environmental health issue regarding the noise, and also Matt rightfully raised some stuff about some of the highway issue.
Yes.
So obviously we need to be certainly drafting something into conditions to help support the on planning
We'll
application.
make sure that those issues are mitigated as far as is possible by those
as well as
conditions.
others
Yeah.
that you'll no doubt be putting into the report.
Chair, sorry, just to clarify, was
Yes.
safety stroke anti-sociability?
Patch Cottage has been approved, pending the completion of the 106 and subject to the conditions and the referral to the National Planning Policy Framework Unit. Okay?